A reading from the letter to the Hebrews. Beloved, unlike those at Mount Sinai, you have not come to something that can be touched, a blazing fire and darkness and gloom and a tempest and the sound of a trumpet and a voice whose words made the hearers beg that not another word be spoken to them. Indeed, so terrifying was the sight that Moses said, I tremble with fear. But we have come to Mount Zion and to the city of the living God, to heavenly Jerusalem, and to innumerable angels in festal gathering, and to the assembly to the firstborn who are enrolled in heaven, and to God, the judge of all, and to the spirits of the righteous made perfect, and to Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, and to the sprinkled blood that speaks a better word than the blood of Abel. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
The responsorial psalm, God, in your temple we ponder your love. God, in your temple we ponder your love. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised in the city of our God. His holy mountain, beautiful in elevation, is the joy of all the earth. God, in your temple we ponder your love. Mount Zion is the far north, the city of the great King. Within its citadels, God has shown himself a sure defense. God, in your temple we ponder your love. And as we have heard, so have we seen in the city of the Lord of hosts, in the city of our God, which God has established forever. God, in your temple we ponder your love. We ponder your steadfast love, O God, in the midst of your temple. Your name, O God, like your praise, reaches to the ends of the earth. Your right hand is filled with victory. God, in your temple, we ponder your love. The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus called the 12 and began to send them out 2 by 2 and gave them authority over the unclean spirits. He ordered them to take nothing for their journey except a staff, no bread, no bag, no money in their belts, that to wear sandals and not to put on 2 tunics. He said to them, wherever you enter a house, stay there until you leave the place. If any place will not welcome you and they refuse to hear you, as you leave, shake off the dust that is on your feet as a testimony against them. So the 12 went out and proclaimed that all should repent. They cast out demons and anointed with oil many who were sick and cured them. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Now, the Gospel today speaks about the first mission that the Lord entrusted to his disciples. And we hear that he sent them 2 in 2, and or 2 by 2. And it is that basic, I would say, secret of the success in the apostolic action. It is to join in the profession of the name of God, of the profession of faith, and that minimal gathering of 2 in the name of the Lord gives us a special power and gives the good results. We have, of course, in the church we have so many groups and associations and congregations of the people that are effective, if we can say, propose the prime example of the religious who get together in a big crowd. They support each other, and of course they have a big impact on the life of the church, and can entertain or can take even some difficult tasks, for example the missions, because they with that support they have in the background or behind them, allows them to go and to do the things that otherwise will be impossible. And it is that basic strategy of the Lord that he's offering or he's teaching to the church. But we have to see it a little closer to us as that mission to be witnesses and to go two by two and take the gospel to the ends of the world. And that first small community of two who will take the gospel to the rest of the world, or to the end of the world, is the married couple. It is when husband and wife live their faith together, and in that atmosphere of faith, the children grow. The faith is naturally transmitted and naturally prospers in the children. When there is any tension or contradiction or simply negligence on one side, the other one he can do many things, but he cannot have that same impact. It is always that power of two of them that makes the whole difference. And we see that some of the even some of the religious people take it really seriously. We see Jehovah's Witnesses going always in pairs, in two. We see the Mormons, they always go in two. And it is simply taking seriously the word of the Lord. Here we are with one thing that we have to ask ourselves, and that is, we believe that our faith is a true faith. And why don't we listen to the Lord, and why don't we do what the Lord has commanded and also what He has established for His church? And when have you seen ever the Catholics the couples going from door to door, or simply going somewhere to give testimony of their faith? Why shouldn't we do it? And we wonder that we have so many difficulties in our church, and we even say that yes, the church is in crisis, and we don't have the young people. But who has to go to them? Do we have those married couples that live their faith, and they are really burning with their faith and transmit it that natural way that has the power that the Lord has established? So we have to learn it for ourselves, and we cannot say that since now we have not seen it, or we don't do it today, that it is all lost. We have to wake up at least today and hear the words of the gospel and say, so I should also join someone and in two. And in the families, it is naturally the husband and wife, and possibly the other members of the family. But even those who don't have the family should always think that, yes, I should join someone, and in two, we should be witnesses of the gospel wherever we are. And yes, we hear that they were going and proclaiming that all should repent. And here we are with one, I would say, crucial point. That what is the whole issue of the faith, or the whole point of the faith and the gospel? It is not some kind of oh yes, I believe in God. That's not a testimony of anything. That's I believe in anything. The people believe in so many even weird things. But it is that believing to the point to go and even proclaim something that is not so easy. And I understand that very few people are able to go alone and say that yes, we must repent. It is an uncomfortable message, and definitely going against the habits and against the mentality of our world. And it is why we need to have at least that support of the couples among us, and between the two, and or at least between two show even those apparently uncomfortable things, or the things that the world rejects, and that we show them as a truth that saves us. So it is the power of the couple is important, especially in the things that are contradicting our world and contradicting our customs and all those things that may not be so easy to accept. Well, there is naturally even that impact that when the Lord Himself says that when two join in the prayer to ask something, He's in their midst and they will obtain it. And all these promises are there, and it always starts with two. So when two are joining prayer, the Lord is with them. When two ask for something, they will obtain it. So it is again the power of the couple. It does not need to be the husband and wife. It is simply any couple of the people who join. And in that union, there is even one kind of, I would say, protection that we can think for ourselves easily even some wrong things. When we are in two, quite naturally, we have to be a little more critical whether what I think is right and true. And so the power of the couple consists even in that it, for the couple or for a bigger group, if they gather really in faith, it is much easier to stick to the truth in spite of all kind of contradictions and pressures from the outside world. And today we celebrate the feast of Saint Josephine Bakita. It is a name that is probably very much unknown, and it is a story of a little girl, slave that was captured and sold as a slave in their childhood in Africa, and she was passed those businesses of slavery. She was passed several times from one owner to the other, and finally she ended with a family of an Italian consul, and he was the first one that treated her with respect and with kindness. And when he, as it happens with the diplomats, when he had to move back to Italy, she wanted to go with him. And here we see the testimony of faith, not speaking about the faith, but living the faith. They showed her the face of Christ with their behavior. The consul and his wife and his family treated her so well that she wanted to live with them. And so many times we ask, why is it that we don't attract more people, or that other people don't join us or don't follow us, and how the children drift away? We cannot attract them with anything else but the face of Christ, and it has to be fed by the faith. And this little Josephine, or young Josephine, when she came to Italy, she became a Christian, she became Catholic. And so she wanted to be lead that Catholic life to the maximum, and so she became a nun, and she spent her life with the sisters and died as a nun. And again, we wonder that we don't have the vocations. We don't have, there is a kind of crisis of the priestly vocation, religious vocations. And we think that yes, the bishops should do something, the Pope should do something, or should change the rules. And no, so this girl, she was not born Christian. And still finding this family, the man was not a priest, he was not a bishop, was not the Pope. But yes, he was a Christian, and she showed her the face of Christ, and it was what attracted her and what made her religious and a saint. And we have to ask ourselves that yes, the need is here. And we speak about crisis, well, it is probably a wrong word for it, but the need is here. And instead of looking around who has to do something or how to change the rules and make it easier, more attractive, more comfortable, simply following the rules of the world, we have to say that the only way how we can attract or how we can have the vocations, good vocations for anything, even for marriage, how we can have them is to showing them the face of Christ, to attract them to the beauties of the faith, to the beauty of the faith, to the beauty of the holiness. And yes, the fruits can come from anywhere. And if we think that among our young Catholics there are not enough candidates, there are those who are not Catholics and who still can become saints, like this Saint Josephine Bakita. And the only thing is that she has to find the witness of faith. And the witness of faith is not a book, it is not a movie, it is not a big speech, it is that life of faith, life of holiness that generates more holiness.